Hi, Michael Bettine here. They say good things come in small packages. I just got my hands on a ZOOM H1n digital recorder. We're going to check it out today on Cuppa Time. Okay, here we have the ZOOM H1n. As you can see, it's a very small unit, all plastic housing. So you want to be careful not to drop it from any sort of height, especially onto concrete or a hard floor. But it's very small, powered by two AAA batteries. You have an XY mic pattern in here, in sort of a little plastic cage, and that's set. And let's just turn it on here. If you're familiar with Zoom equipment, it works much the same way. Just hold the button and it's getting everything going. So I have a very small display. Let's get that display right in there. There you go. But it's good enough to see things. As you can see, my voice level on there, and you can see the recording time, and you can access different menus here to get into the functions. Again, if you're familiar with Zoom recorders, it works the same way. We have a record button, pause and play, forward and reverse, and an option button to get into some other menus. We also have a very small, it's kind of hard to see this here, there you go, very small speaker in there, which is good just for a reference. On this side we have a line out, which is great for your headphones, and then you do have a volume control. On this side we got a few more things. Got an SD card slot here, a line in for an external microphone, and then here's our DC power, or hook it up to your computer, and then some of our setting controls here. So it's a nice little unit, very lightweight, very small, and as you can see, I'll compare it here, is a microphone, SE8, which is a small condenser mic. You can see it's not much bigger than that. I like it because it's a very compact, dare I say, stealthy recorder. It doesn't take up a lot of room, and you can bring into a lot of situations. And it's great too, you could carry it with you in your coat or in your pocket for field recordings and such, and it would be easy to bring along. We do have a mounting hole here for mounting on like a camera tripod or a mic stand or that. The only thing you have to watch out is these are plastic threads. It's not like a brass insert or anything. So if you really torque on it, you're gonna just tear those threads right out. But for most people it should be fine. You know, just take care of screwing in whatever sort of mic holder you have and you'll be great. So that's just kind of a quick overview of it. And now we're going to look at doing a comparison video. Okay, so I want to do a comparison video to see how this stacks up against other recordings. So we've got the ZOOM H1. Here's my ZOOM H6. They both have the XY crossed over mic setting there. And then I am also going to plug two external mics, my SE8s, which are in an XY pattern to match the two Zoom units. I'm going to plug those into the H6. I will do some playing and recording on all three. Then we'll put them on my computer and do a listen test. Compare to the sound quality, the noise level, things like that. I set up the three microphones in very close proximity to get a very similar sound. I then recorded 4 different instrumental sounds: a 32-inch gong, Burma bells, copper clad bells, and some seed pod shakers at the end, just to add a different character. I balanced the levels of all three sources as best as I could. There were some problems doing that I'll explain about later. For the recording, I played a repeating pattern or melody on the sounds, and then cut those up and put them together into one long track. There are no effects or processing on any of the tracks, so they are just the raw mic feed. The only thing I did was to fade out each section so that there was a smooth change into the next one. The order starts with the H1n on the first sound, the 32-inch gong, then goes to the H6, and finally the condenser mics. Then this repeats with the Burma bells, the copper-clad bells, and finally ends with the seed pod shakers. I moved the seed pods around while playing them to give an idea of the stereo image of each mic. It was a bit difficult to set the levels, since it was only me making the video. Ideally, there would have been another person to do the recording and watch the levels. As it was, I did my best to set things, but I got the H6 a bit low. I brought it up some in the mix, but I found it hard to balance because all three reacted differently to the sounds. I find the H1n and the H6 were very similar in their resulting sound, although I did find some subtle differences in how they responded to those different sounds. The SE8 external condenser mics were, to me, a whole different sound. The dynamic range from loud to soft was much wider and more apparent. Also, there was a more fuller sound with more bottom end. This is probably due to the much larger diaphragms on the SE8 mics. In conclusion, I found the H1n a surprising little recorder with a really great usable sound. For about $120, it's a great digital recorder. This would be excellent to have for recording practices and sessions for your own listening and critiquing. With some processing, you could improve the sound and even use it for videos, podcasts, and downloads. I thought the H6, which I've owned for 5 or 6 years, to be a bit better. And again, I like the sound and have used it on many recordings, even some commercial releases. But the overall winner is easily the external mics, which just have more of everything and a richer, fuller sound. And a lot of that will depend on what type of external mics you use. That's why when I record my gigs, I almost always use a pair of external mics as well as the XY mics on the H6. So when I mix things down, I can have a choice of the different recordings. So that's a look at the H1n. Let me know in the comments your feelings and what do you think of it. And I will see you on the next cup of time. Thanks a lot.